Welcome back to the Normal Sports Show. My name's Kyle Porter. I'm here with Hayden Martin. We are sponsored today by Charlie Golf Co., who we'll talk about here in a little bit. Hayden, 2 days of PGA Championship in the book. We've got co-leaders, of course, as we all predicted, Matt McNeely and Alex Smalley at the top of the board at 4 under. But I think the bigger story of many stories that we will get into is how many guys are within 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shots of this lead. And I'm curious about just what your experience has been like watching this first 2 days of PGA Championship.
Yeah, it's been an incredibly exciting 2 days. I think, we were talking on Tuesday, feeling like this week was maybe lacking some juice. We were talking about concerns about how the golf course was going to play. And this is one of those times where I am so glad I was wrong about all of that because this week has started out with, it's been nonstop since Thursday morning from Higgo to really the end of Friday. It's been so much fun to watch. I feel like I'm missing out when I'm not watching. So it's been a great couple days.
Which I think is a little bit unusual for a PGA Championship, right? Like we came into the week thinking, and we do this every year where it's like, okay, what's the identity? What's the brand? All this stuff. And it's like, I don't know, man. It's been an awesome golf tournament. Where do you stand on? There's been a lot of golf course setup, major championship, then just a lot of talk around, do you like the setup? We ended Friday kind of with Rory saying that he didn't love the setup because of, basically he was saying when you have a great setup, usually guys can separate. And that's to his advantage, as everybody knows, because he's one of the best ball strikers in the world, probably ever. And he said when people are not separating like that, he kind of walked it back a little bit and said, it's fine, it's good, it's whatever, but it's not necessarily his favorite style of setup. Where do you land on kind of all the setup talk after the first 2 rounds?
Yeah, I don't feel like I necessarily agree with that, especially through 36 holes. I was trying to remember, was Johnny Vegas leading last year at 36 holes? There was somebody like that at Quail. I don't remember exactly who. It doesn't mean that somebody's not going to separate just because they haven't through 36 holes. I look at the leaderboard and I see a lot of different styles of players, right? You've got guys like, you got Pocket up there who's one-dimensional. He's been two-dimensional this week, I think, putting decent. But you got Mav up there, Smalley, Hideki. I don't know. I think this is a great leaderboard just because it doesn't seem very one-dimensional. You got a lot of different guys up there. There are bombers who, are playing well. And, when those guys play well, I would expect them to be near the top. So I'm having a ton of fun. I really don't know who's going to pull away. I think there's a couple guys we'll probably talk about maybe that we think will win, but I expected guys to fade today and they didn't. So I'm excited to see what happens tomorrow.
Halfway point in 2025, Johnny Vegas 8 under, Matt Fitzpatrick, Siwoo Kim, and Matthew Pavon at 6 under, of course. And then you had Max Homa, Scottie Scheffler at 5 under. So Johnny Vegas was 2 out in front of everybody at this point last year, 3 out in front of the eventual champion, Scottie Scheffler, as well as Max Homa. I think my take on the golf course through 2 days is I've very much enjoyed it. I think it's been awesome. I think the PGA Championship, I joke, they do a better job setting up a U.S. Open than the U.S. Open does. It's been really good. It reminds me of Southern Hills. Obviously, it's a very different course than Kiowa, but it reminds me of the kind of the test that we got at Kiowa in a lot of ways. Maybe Kiowa's taking it a little bit too far. Definitely Southern Hills. It reminds me of that in terms of the difficulty of scoring and how tough it's playing. I think it's been awesome. I think what Rory's getting at, and I think what Scottie was getting at on Friday when he said that some of the pins were absurd, and JT talked about this a little bit as well, and I'm writing about it for the newsletter, is just this idea of when you play major championship golf, you want great shots to be rewarded and mediocre to good shots to be punished, right? And we don't see that very often in PGA Tour golf. And that's what frustrates a lot of people, I think. And so I think what's happening this week, Hayden, is that, and Scottie and JT both said this, like basically good shots to average shots are being punished, but there's not really the opportunity to take on these pins because of where they're located. And so you're not necessarily getting the great shots being rewarded because guys they're not even trying them. Like they're not even risking it because they're just saying, I need to stay in it, stay near the top. I don't need to risk anything on Thursday or Friday. And maybe I'll do that on Saturday and Sunday if I'm still in it. Do you agree with sort of that premise?
Yeah, I mean it's felt that way. I think it was on 10 today. Rahm's second shot. He was a little bit left of that pin, and it looked like a good shot. But then you just kept seeing it roll, and it ended up rolling off the green. And I think it was Duval.
That was
just
the one
said,
that rolled all the way left, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
And Duval was just like, he's like, I don't like that. And like in my head, I was just like, well, you just can't go left. Like we've seen it all day. You have to be right of that pin.
And Rory had gone way right.
Yeah, Rory went way right. Spieth was right. And Rahm challenged it and was just a little bit left. And it rolled all the way off. And for me, it was like when Duval was like, I don't like that. And that was, I think, from a player's perspective. For me, like as a fan, I was like, no, he missed his spot. I was like, this, I'm okay with that because like I want to see the great shots rewarded. And so I think in that case, Rahm was kind of going for it there. And I think this like test of like guys' patience is we just don't get to see it that often, right? Like just so much of week in and week out is just attacking, just all offense. And I'm okay with the change of pace. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. And it like we are seeing some birdies. Yeah, not not a ton, but I also think there's a patience element of maybe this weekend we're going to get, some pins or some holes. Cause like as hard as some of these pins have been, these guys have also talked about like there are potentially very easy pins too in some of these bowls. And maybe we do get some of that. So I've enjoyed the test of patience because you can see these guys just itching to go and they can't.
Oh, yeah.
It's frustrating them.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I hope we get at least one day of it. I don't know if I want both. It does look like the pin sheets are out for Saturday, and it looks hard again. I think I haven't looked super closely. I wanted to read. Here's the JT quote. He said, I don't know which hole he's talking about, but he said, today that pin is just over a slope there, and it's not, I think he's maybe talking about 11, I don't know. And it's not hard to hit it to 20 feet past the hole, but it's really, really hard to hit it close. I think that's a great example of if you have a great number and a full wedge that you can spin it and hit it close, great. But you don't want to try to do too much and try to hit it close, kind of like I did there this morning. The wind knocks the ball right out of the air and doesn't even come close. And I'm grinding to make 5 when I have a sand wedge in my head. In my hand. And I think it does take just a crazy amount of patience and discipline, which I would not necessarily say are JT's strengths all the time. And he would probably not say are his strengths all the time. But to play to the middle of greens and to not rip at some of these pins. I get what Scottie and Rory are, or I guess Scottie didn't necessarily say this, but I get what Rory's saying of like, if you're not even really giving us if nobody's going for the pin, then like, is there even an advantage to like being a great ball striker, And so I sort of get that aspect of it, but I mean, Scottie said, is it a great test? I don't know. It's definitely different. And I think that's great. Like, it's different, right? Like, we don't need everything to be Augusta. We certainly don't need everything to be the Phoenix Open or the Travelers or whatever. It's been, I think, really fun. And I think people are just very worked up on both sides of this argument. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, yeah, is it a little hard? Sure. But it's also been, I think it's a ton of fun. So I don't know. I guess that's where I stand. Maybe that's not a very nuanced take, but that's sort of my position after 36.
Yeah. I mean, I still think that we're only halfway. Like,
Yeah.
I think just like feeling how long these 2 days have been, just because there's been so much coverage, which has been awesome. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it has felt like I watch a lot of PGA Tour golf. I don't watch as much as I do. I've watched the last 2 days, and it's just there's so much more golf left to be played, and there's still so much that can happen. That I think these kind of like sweeping sort of like, the pins have been bad. It's only been 2 days. I don't know. For me, it's like there's a lot of golf left to play.
I don't.
I think,
and also like they've been hard.
Good.
I don't know if they've been bad. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I think one thing
Russell.
too, though, just like I've been thinking a lot about with this course, just going into the week and all this stuff we were hearing, and we were talking about like Oak Hill a little bit, and like how awesome is it when the weather cooperates, right? Like it's so out of control, or out of the control, obviously, of tournament organizers. But like when you get the weather to like, it's just amazing, like how much wind is a factor for these guys, and like how much it frustrates them. And then when you get these kind of dry conditions, on top of that, not a lot of rain coming in with the wind, it's just like, man, it's such a funner test of golf. We don't have overseeded ryegrass. Like, I don't know. It's just been such a change of pace. I've really enjoyed it. So
Yeah, I totally have as well. I think to Rory's point, there are 29 guys at between even and -4, and only 2 of them are -4. So you got 27 guys between even and -3. Rory's not one of them. He's +1, along with Xander, Jordan Spieth, who should be leading the tournament, Brooks Koepka, Ricky Fowler, Colin Moore. So there's some heavyweights at +1. Before we get into it, we've got a couple of takeaways here. It just, all the things we've talked about, Hayden: discipline, patience, hitting the right iron shots, hitting every kind of iron shot, picking your spot. Like, it just screams Scottie Scheffler, right? Like, I just feel like it's right. It's right there for the taking. And I don't know if he'll take it. He's not playing the best he's ever played. He's playing pretty freaking good. And, there was a moment today where on the ESPN broadcast, I think it was Matt Berry. Scottie made 3 early bogeys, and Matt Berry said something like, "The unthinkable has happened with Scottie Scheffler, and he's dropped it." And it's like, I don't know, like it's a major championship, and it's very hard. And I feel like he hits that shot on 17, just a sick. I was playing 230, 240, hits it to like 2 feet. Just a sick shot that he said afterwards kind of turned his round around. I mean, should he be the favorite, even though he's only, what's he at, 2 under, 1 under? 2 under. So he's 2 back.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's the favorite right now. I think he has to be. I was thinking about, I know I mentioned Quail earlier, the 2025. I just looked it up to make sure I had it right. But like, remember Saturday when Scottie went 5 under in his last 5 holes on Saturday, like to completely take that tournament under control? Like, there's a little bit of that. Like, he's just hanging around long enough.
Yeah.
And I don't even call it hanging around. Like, he's playing well. It's playing difficult, and he's right there. I very much think that he's the favorite. Now, there's some other guys I think, we can talk about some of the other guys, but I have a lot of faith in Scottie this weekend, I would say. For me, he's the favorite.
Yeah, he is currently 7th in ball striking, 8th in approach play. And 2 under, 2 back of 2 guys that, I don't know, are Mav McNeely and or Alex Smalley going to win the PGA Championship? They could, but probably not. So he's kind of, if you don't think they're going to win, he's 1 back, right? And interestingly, your boy, Jordan Spieth, is third in ball striking, 111th in putting, which was kind of
It's
the Brooks Koepka
unbelievable.
formula from Thursday. We'll get into more Spieth here in a second. Okay, let's do this. Let's talk about. We've got a couple categories here. We're just going to dive in real quick. We're going to keep this fairly short, or try to keep it fairly short. Give me, first category, one normal sport moment from the first 2 days of the PGA Championship.
I'll just say for I think I know where you're gonna go. I want you to go there. I think it's for me. It's always with this tournament is like just the club pros
It's
and
crazy.
even the past champions. I watched Sean McKeel tee off on I was 1 or 10, and it was just like 250 floated out to. It was just like, gosh, that has to be. I mean, it's awesome. Obviously, the PGA Championship gets to come back every year and play, but like. In what sport do we do this, And then to have club pros out there, guys folding shirts and then coming out and literally playing with the best in the world. I mean, there's a million comps you can make across sports, but it's like, and we see it every year, obviously, but it's still just crazy that you've got these guys running out there playing with the best in the world. These rounds are incredibly slow. I'm not saying it's a club pro's fault, but like that can't be helping.
No, it hits me every year, and you're like, oh yeah, this is insane that we do this. I mean, it truly like an incredibly normal sport thing. I compared it to, guy down the street from Madison Square Garden runs a gym and like used to play college basketball and like won a national tournament. And he's like all of a sudden playing for the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals. And you're like, what?
Yep.
Like, or it would be like if the Braves brought back Julio Franco to play in like the division series this year, past champion. It's very unique and cool about golf that can happen, but it also is very strange that literally like 2 of the 10 best golfers of all time are playing alongside, Ben Kern and 19 other PGA pros.
But then you got a guy, Ben Kern, going out and probably gaining 5 strokes on the field today, shooting 67 in the morning. Like, it's also just like incredible, like just how small margins are in golf, it's fascinating.
Yeah, Kern he shot 67 on Friday. He gained
morning.
Let's see here. Yeah, Friday morning. That's true. He gained 6 strokes on the field on Friday. And probably
is insane.
Probably more like 7 given when he started. I think it was, I don't have the splits in front of me, but he's also tied with Brooks Koepka and Rory. He's tied with 11 majors right there.
And Spieth. And Morikawa.
And Spieth. Ahead of Matt Fitzpatrick, who's won 3 times on the PGA Tour this year. Ahead of DJ. He beat Bryson by, I don't know, 7, 6, something like that. He beat JJ Spawn. He beat Gary Woodland, who's won on the PGA Tour. It really is wild and something that would only ever happen in golf, which is part of what makes it cool, but it's also part of what's absurd about it. My one normal sport moment from the first 2 days is, of course, Garrett Higgo. I wrote about it for the newsletter on Friday or Thursday night, Friday morning. It's one thing to miss your tee time. It's another thing to go on. I mean, he went on like a Joe DiMaggio level run of quotes afterwards. Like it was just a streak of, I can't believe he said that. And then the next one, you're like, oh, this one's crazier. I mean,
it was unbelievable.
I'm just a sampling. I'll just read them because they're all extraordinary. He said, I was obviously there on time, but late. Okay. It's unfortunate. This one was kind of low key my favorite. You kind of had to see it. It was on the ESPN. Was it Marty Smith that was interviewing him? He said, it's unfortunate that golf has these kind of situations where things we get penalized for things. And he just said things like 2 or 3 times, which was so funny. 1 second is tough to define. That's the one they got.
That's the one that got me. That got me really
So
good.
it got so much run.
I think the other thing I loved is just that Marty Smith is sitting there just like completely flabbergasted. I'm just like for you to be able to put Marty Smith in a pretzel to where he didn't even know what to ask is unbelievable.
Brother.
Unbelievable.
1 second is one. This other one was, I wouldn't have been late if I knew I was running late. Gonna use that on my wife for sure. I was, this one was great because it was with Shane Ryan, friend of the pod, Shane Ryan.
Yep.
I was just trying to get evidence from the, he didn't say this, but he was talking to the PGA of America. I was just trying to get evidence. I feel like any of you would have done the same. It's kind of, I was there on time, but the rule is if you're 1 second late, you're late. So if you think about it, I was there on time, if you know what I mean. And Shane Ryan said, I don't know what you mean.
He was so perfect to be there for those questions too.
Oh, it was so, like I was there
Truly.
7:18, 30 seconds. You know what I mean? And then the question was 7:18 was the tee time. 7:18 was the tee time? And he said, yeah, or something like that.
Something like that.
Which I get what he didn't remember, like, it was,
yeah,
just all time.
I feel like
just
I feel like it's one of those
historic run.
It's one of those situations where, like, I know, like, we've all been in it where you're like, you kind of like think that other people will like agree with you, and you like kind of start to like imply things, and like eventually you realize that no one agrees with you, and you should like, all right, I'm just gonna shut this down. He just never got there. I mean, he just was just like continuing. The quote too about "I'm already in the clouds as it is" was just like, oh, sign me up. I need more of him.
His two defenses were, this is not a defense, but it's a defense for some of the quotes. He was there. He was literally like at the tee box, and then he left, and then he came back. So I think what he was saying was, I was on time, but he was both on time and also late. And then the other one, which I think he didn't explain this very well, obviously, but I think what he was saying was like, isn't it still 7:18 at 7:18 and 30 seconds?
Yeah.
Right? Like that's what that's what he was.
Yeah.
Like, that's what he meant.
I think that's what he was trying to say.
But he never actually said it. He just kept saying like crazier things. I heard JT talking about, they got put on the clock on Friday, him and Keegan and who else was I forget who else was in their group. And he starts talking about time par. And all I could think was like, I want Garrett Higgo to try to explain time par to me or to anyone. And I'll just watch. It was incredible. Higgo, unfortunately, missed the cut by 1, which is
by 1. Crazy.
Just yeah. Just
you think they should have him in the booth this weekend?
I mean, somebody pointed this out. It might have been Porath. Like his not stock, but just the number of people that know who Garrett Higgo has quadrupled. I mean, it's 50x what it was on Wednesday.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know.
I mean, that's what my wife was like, "What's the deal?" She's like, "Tell me about this Garrett Higgo guy." That's like
totally
words I never thought I'd hear from you.
Yes, absolutely. He'll probably get like a Omega deal out of it. Like, I mean, he could. Hopefully, he'll get a Garmin deal out of it.
Ride that.
Shout out to shout out to our. That was I worked that into the to our newsletter on Friday, which was just teed up for me.
That was great.
Okay, we're already at 30 minutes and we've gotten through one of these. Let's Let's talk about Charlie Golf Co. I want to tell you. So we were in a group text, charliegolfco.com. They're amazing. You should check them out if you have kids or if you have nieces or nephews or whatever. You can get bags. They've got junior bags. They've got toddler bags. They've got clubs. They've got all kinds of stuff. One thing we were talking about, we were in a group text on Thursday, was that companies, and maybe this is just an idea for Tyler to implement just for free here, they should start select baseball batting their golf clubs. And what I mean by that is like all the bats these days, and you've been in this world, I've been in this world, I'm back in this world now that I'm coaching my son. They're all like pink and purple and bright green, or they have like these pencil bats. If you haven't been in it, if you used to play and you haven't been in it, you should go check it out because it's outrageous. And they're all like
Shocking.
$500 or whatever. But they all look like, I mean, every bat is if it's not fluorescent, it won't get bought. And so we were in a group text of guys like joking about how somebody should start making junior golf clubs that are like that, with crazy names like the Dub and the Atlas, and I mean the Hype Fire, like I think I wrote about that, which I think is what kickstarted the conversation. But Tyler, that's for free. If you want to take that, run with it. You'll probably sell 1 billion of those clubs because that's what they do in baseball. And yeah, but in all seriousness, check out charliegolfco.com. Their stuff's amazing. Tyler is an entrepreneur like myself and trying to make it work. And he does such a good job of creating a quality product that that people love. Which is a rare thing. So go check them out. They have been a great supporter and are just a great company.
Yeah, I think Charlie Golf Co. is probably a little too classy to make golf clubs that look like today's baseball bats. So it's a very clean looking bag.
Yeah, just Google like youth baseball bat colorful or something, and you'll just be blown away by what.
I didn't want to put that idea out in the world because I was just more worried that someone would be like, yes, like we're doing this.
You get rich. Tyler could get rich.
Yeah.
Okay, let's roll through these. Most surprising player or moment so far through 36 holes.
For me, I kind of mentioned it. Honestly, I think it's the guys that like hung around today and like played well. If you told me Pocket was gonna remain at 3, I just kept waiting for him to just like fall back, you know. And Minwoo Lee, even like he fell back. I know a little bit. I don't know where he finished, but like he kind of kept fighting back. Alex Smalley's front 9. He started on the back, shot 2 under this morning. It was just like all these guys. Like I was expecting to fade today. I was just really impressed with those guys, and I think it's for me it's a storyline of like I'm still waiting. I'm still expecting these guys to come back. So yeah, that group for me, kind of at that 3 under, and Smalley at 4 under. Steven Yeager was another one. 18 pars, by the way, unbelievable.
Sick.
Hadn't happened in like 15 years. Yeah. So those guys, I just. Yeah. Yeah, that was my most surprising group.
Was that it hadn't happened in 15 years at a major or at a PGA Championship?
Maybe at a PGA. I don't remember. I think it was like Dick Green at some. I don't know if it was major or PGA, but it was like 2011.
Gotcha. PGA. That sounds right. Beat PGA. My surprising thing so far was actually it's sort of related to yours because it's somebody in those -3s also, but it's Chris Goddard going out shooting 65 on Friday in the worst weather, like in the windier time slot. He gained 8 strokes on the field, and I still have, and maybe this is a me thing, I still haven't bought into Goddard completely. He's very feast or famine, where he'll go out and win twice in 2 months and then like disappear for the next 3. And I think there's some a lot of guys that are successful now were inconsistent at that age. I think about even JT was somebody that was like super inconsistent compared to what he is now early on. And or I guess maybe he's still inconsistent now, but you know what I'm saying? Like in his like when he was really thriving, he got more consistent. And that's usually the trajectory of a great player is like you flash and you'll have these good weeks, but your consistency isn't there. And you develop that over time, which is what we've seen from Rory and JT and other guys like that. And so I think he's in that phase of like just kind of inconsistent. But because of that, it's hard to pick him because you don't know when it's going to pop and when he's, going to miss the cut. And I think also I just don't like, I look at him and I watch him play and you're like, okay, yeah, he could win Phoenix because you can kind of hit it all over. Not maybe not all over because there's some, you've got desert and cacti and all that stuff, but you can it's open. I don't think of him as this precise, like, got to hit the right ledges type player that can thrive at Aronimink. And so I was just very surprised and super impressed by him shooting 65 and being in the mix after 36 holes.
Yeah. I think two notes. I mean, just for me on Got Her Up. I think one, I kind of mentioned this like in our Slack channel. It's like, it just doesn't look good.
Yeah.
Like the way he swings is so unique. But like the thing for me with Got Her Up, I'm with you. Like I haven't like, there's something about him. Like I just like don't expect him to like stay there. Like the 65 surprised me. But like thinking back to like when he has popped, like tough conditions, right? Like Scottish Open Championship, really good week. He won at Sony this year, which I feel like Sony was pretty windy this year and like has played well this year. And I'm just curious if like he seems so like a little bit like Spieth where it's like, if the hole's just like right here and there's no wind, like I don't think he likes that. Like it seems like he's somebody that wants to flight the ball, move it left or right. Like I don't know. In the small sample size that like we have of him, there's numbers might not back this up. To me, like watching him, it feels like he's like the kind of guy that likes to play in like hard conditions.
It's kind of Ryan Foxy.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of that to him. Yeah. Yeah, because Foxy's playing well this week too. I don't know where he finished, but he was playing well yesterday.
He's even. Yeah, he's T22, even par.
Yeah,
that's
a
little
bit
point.
Of that. Like,
he doesn't look the part from like a swing. Yeah, I don't know. It's
physically,
and again, that's probably like a me thing of like, yo, you need to just like recognize like how good he is. Like, just look at what he's done, And I'm very interested to see like, can he, we haven't had like for the last 5 major winners, Scottie and Rory. Like somebody needs to pop up and be a young guy that's like, hey, I'm here. I'm going to win some majors, and it remains to be seen who that's going to be. Let's see. Next category: most disappointing player or moment so far through the first 2 days. I'll go first on this one. I've got Bryson. You called this. I thought you were crazy. You said he was going to play terrible. He looked miserable. Like I mean, I was watching him on 7 on Friday, second round. Hits it way right. Leaves it short, just short of the bunker. Hits it in the bunker. He hit like 10 feet into the bunker. And he just looks like he wants to not be there. I mean, obviously, like anybody would look like that. Like you're playing terrible. Yeah. I don't totally buy the he needs different irons or he needs different wedge lengths thing. I mean, he's won 2 U.S. Opens. It's not like he doesn't know how to play with his club. Like I feel like we're too far into this to be like, well, it's not really. I don't know if that's it. I don't know. Like, what's your opinion on that? Like the single length stuff.
I mean, I don't know anything about the golf swing. I don't think it would work for me.
Thanks for listening to our golf podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, to me, like, again, like the only reason I said that was like he just seems like defeated, like on the golf. Like I just watching him at Augusta. Yeah, there's no joy. I don't know. Obviously, like, he very much is like the kind of person, like, when you're winning, things are better than, or things appear better than they actually are. When you're losing, things appear worse than they actually are. I think just like the way that he wears his emotions and feelings on his sleeve is a reason like he's so good for golf, because we don't get that from everybody. But like I I just couldn't see him playing well this week. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think it's a single length iron thing. He works too hard to like not have figured that out. You know,
Agree.
To me, that's not it. I think it's mental with him.
Well, he did have that thing after he won in wherever he won. Was it Hong Kong? No,
South
it wasn't.
Africa, or
maybe it was South Africa, where he just talked about like there's a lot going on in my life right now, and he never disclosed it, and so you do have to. I think it's reasonable to wonder if whatever that was is playing into some of this, right? And
for sure,
I don't know. It's been disappointing. He's so chaotic and so much fun, and I wish, we say this about a lot of guys, but golf is way more fun. It truly actually is more fun whenever he's in the mix, because, or I don't know if it's more fun for everybody. For me, it's more fun because it's more chaotic, and so there's more things going on to write and talk about.
It's more fun.
And I think he is like the apex of that phrase. Golf is more fun when blank is in the mix. I think Bryson is way up at the top of that. And he's struggling. He has more missed cuts at majors since Pinehurst. He has twice as many missed cuts at majors since he won at Pinehurst as Scottie does in his entire professional career, which is it's pretty wild.
That's not fair. Bryson's so feast or famine. Scottie's so consistent, but that's a wild story.
Yeah, but Scottie also has twice as many major wins. So Scottie's also he just feasts. Like there is no famine.
Yeah, I mean his famine is a T10.
Yeah, yes, yeah, that's true. That was my most disappointing player, which is different than yours
for sure. I mean, I couldn't put Bryson as disappointing because I said he's gonna miss a cut. I mean, Blockie is my most disappointing. I mean, we were right there. We were one stroke away. How does the show not bring it home?
He got the bad side of the draw. If he gets the, if he gets the early late, he's playing Saturday.
Probably late Saturday. I mean, it is just, you talk about Bryson being good for the game. Gosh, Blockie he's unbelievable. And then, like, to add the Malbon fit in there, like, I don't know if the raw hat is worse from 2023 or just like, guy about to make his Champions Tour debut, rocking the, I don't, no shade on the Malbon. It's not for me, but Blockie, like, man, I wish he was around this weekend. I was bummed. One off. Close.
So we talked about this interview that Alan Shipnuck did with him before the tournament on Scratch or for Scratch. And he said, Alan Shipnuck said, does this feel like your swan song? A little bit like a swan song. And he said, oh yeah, definitely. I was actually surprised I made it again this year. After the PGA, I'm focused only on senior golf. That was 5 days ago. Today, after he misses the cut, Friday night, he was interviewed by Jason Sobel on PGA Tour Radio. I think it's Sirius XM. And he said, he is like, I wrote this for the newsletter. The greatest performative like athletes or anything, they lose track of what's a performance and what's not. Like that's why they're great, is because what the performance is blends into like just who they are, and so they can't really tell if it's a bid or not anymore. I think he's reached that level. He said to Jason Sobel, "There's no way on God's green earth this is my last one," meaning PGA Championship. No chance. I will definitely qualify for one more, if not 5 more. I thought that was if not 5 more. I thought it was like I thought somebody made that quote up, and I went and listened to it, and I was like, oh, he actually did say that.
Oh, that's incredible. That's absolutely what I want to hear tonight. 5 more. I mean, how old is he? Is he 50 yet? Or is he like 49?
He's about to be 50, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, 55? That would be nuts.
I mean, the funny thing is, like, when he's out there, he always talks about, I don't know if you probably noticed this, but he always talks about like signing for everybody and taking picture. He thinks he's like the guy.
It kind of is. He's everything JT wants to be, man. I'm telling you. He's the guy.
It's like truly incredible. Like he is.
Yeah.
I wrote this. I said he's the performative GOAT. Like nobody can touch him.
No, I don't think anybody wants to, but no one can.
Yeah,
him taking his hat off. It was like the first or second hole of the tournament, and he like made a putt. He's like got his hat off to the crowd. I'm like, you're 2 holes in. It's insane. I mean, yeah, but it's also amazing. Like, he's a very good golfer. He missed the cut by 1, like he's a showman, but he also like shows up, which is sick.
Yeah. He tied Akshay, Wyndham Clark, Tommy Fleetwood, Russell Emily, Sung Jae.
Crazy.
I mean, Bobby Mack. Jimmy Walker was 500 or 5 over. Wow, that's kind of surprising. Hatton and Hovland were 6 over. It's like good players that missed the cut. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's skip down to one golf course takeaway. Mine through the first 2 days, Hayden, is just that angles have mattered this week. And I got to tell you, I haven't been to Aronimink. I'm not out there this week. Based on what everybody was saying, I didn't think angles were going to matter one iota. I mean, everybody's quotes before the tournament was like, bang it down there, go get it. Bang it down there, go get it. And even Rory on Thursday said, like, I might have been wrong about that, or I was wrong about that. And he was, for sure. And because of where they put some of these pins, and I think guys have been surprised at how aggressive they've been with where they put the pins, you absolutely need to be on the right side of or on the correct side of the fairway, or even the rough. Like you just, if you're on the wrong side, you are in a lot of trouble. And that's been fun. It's been cool because it makes the entire hole that much more interesting, because it's not just like, oh, well, how far did he hit it? Well, no, like, which side is he on? Did he hit a draw into this fairway that's going left? Or, like there's so many more questions that you have to ask. And I think that's been a surprise to me, but also like a really cool takeaway.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think there's a graphic, I think I posted in the Slack channel, but ESPN did on the 3rd hole, because today they had the pin tucked way right up against that bunker, and it was left side of the fairway. Scoring average was 3.5. Right side of the fairway was 4 or over 4. I mean, that's significant. Like that's a half a stroke on a par 4. For both hitting the fairway, but left or right side. Well, I guess they could have included rough too, but either way, like that's significant. And I thought that was a great visual. The other thing, like, and they talked about it a little bit before the tournament. I think Fried Egg talked about it a little bit on their video, but the contouring of some of the fairways. I know Rom talked about it. I think it was on 15. He just bombed a drive, but he bombed it up the right side with a little bit of fade. And that camber off like left to right, his ball just kind of trickled into that right side of into the rough, and he was dead. And, he was like, that probably should have been in the fairway. Well, it's kind of like, that shot shape for that hole doesn't really, you can't hit on the right side of the fairway. And so I think that kind of stuff I think is fascinating to watch. When I thought 7, watching drives on 7, seeing if those guys can hold that fairway when they hit over those bunkers. There's just a lot of really cool holes where, it really does seem like, angles matter. And working backwards from the green is a lot more important than it normally is. So
did you see the shot our boy hit on 11?
Was that on purpose or on accident?
I mean, so if people haven't seen it, I think I tweeted it out, but Spieth hits this. I don't even know how to describe it. 11 is so. Smiley was tweeting about this too, but 11 is so cool, but it's also like so far above you, like your second shot in there, depending on where you're at. And he hit this like spinny, kind of chippy line drive looking, not line drive, but it was like a chippy low kind of, you're like, why, what is he like? You would think, okay, it's really high. I need to go high. I need to get on top of it. And he hit it into a hill, which is, you're like, and it hit the first hill, hits another one, and then gets up on the ledge where the pin is, which is very much a ledge. It's a bigger ledge, but it's not that big. And it's still spinning, and it just kind of stops, like probably, I don't know, 10, 12 feet. And you're like, what? Whoa. I've watched it like, honestly, like 10 times. I mean,
I want to see the angle from behind. Like, I haven't seen that angle.
Like from where he was hitting?
Yeah. Like, I feel like every angle is from the
whole
top
time. Yeah. Yes.
Because I'm with you. I don't know what it did.
It looks, somebody said this is sorcery, and that's what it looks like, because it hit it like it's almost like it's climbing a mountain, and it just stopped. He's again, he should be leading.
He had to be the only person below that hole today, because I don't know how else you would have gotten below that hole.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. Spieth is, I think he's third in. Yeah. Oh, we talked about this earlier. Third in ball striking, second off the tee.
He's hit it so good.
He's somehow over every drive. Every time he gets over the ball, I'm like, this is automatic.
Yep.
Like, it looks automatic. And you're like, who is this guy?
Yep. And he made 36 feet of putts today.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. It's hard for us. It's hard for us to make 36 feet of putts in 9 holes. Like, it's, Anyway, that was hard to watch.
Okay. Last thing. We'll get out of here. New pick to win. I picked Cam before the tournament. Who did you pick before the tournament?
I mean, I picked Scottie, and then I said Morikawa would be like my non-Scottie pick.
Okay. So we are, I'm switching to Scottie. And you are switching to...
I kind of want to switch to Cam Young. It's
so
really
we're
hard
just
for me to not say Scottie.
Just straight up trading.
I was watching Cam's round today. Cam's round today felt to me like the old sort of like Spieth, where it's like, how in the world did he shoot what he shot? I think he eagled 9 to finish, which was
he did
very much the reason I think he is 2 under. But and maybe it's like the Rory situation where it's like he's not playing that well, but he's still hanging on from like the Masters. But maybe him not playing well is an indication that he's not playing well. But like I was impressed with his round today, and the way for me it felt like the round where it's like, okay, he doesn't have it, and he scrapped out a 2 under or whatever it was. And I don't know. I just think if it gets warm and it's not maybe as difficult this weekend, I guess we'll see what happens. I don't know. I like Cam a little more now than maybe I did on Tuesday.
I think obviously the thing that concerns is he's 6th in putting and 33rd in ball striking, which somebody like that's different if that's Alex Smalley who's 1st in putting. You're like, okay, I've seen this movie 1,000 times before. But with Cam, you're like, okay, well, also, he just can be the best ball striker in the world on the weekend, and that wouldn't surprise literally anyone.
Yeah.
And so I think it is a little different with guys that are of that caliber of ball striker where you're like, yeah, maybe he's just like having a good putting week. And that's why he's going to win the PGA Championship. So I probably shouldn't move off of my Ken Young pick for somebody who he's tied with. But after seeing this course for the
We
first
just
2 days, we did. We talked about this earlier, but it just screams like, I mean, somebody was talking about this. I think it was Xander was talking about it's not necessarily how much spin you need to have on the ball, but it's distance control and having the right number. And I think he said wind. Like those are the most important things. And you're like,
Yep.
The best distance control player of the last 20 years is probably Scottie Scheffler. Why would he not win this tournament?
Yep.
You know, like and who knows? Like he might have a terrible weekend, and he's had some weird rounds over the last 3 or 4 months. Usually they're early and we're done with that, and he's still only 2 back. So
yeah,
I feel like I feel like this golf course sets up so perfectly for what he does, which is be patient, be disciplined, control your distance, and hit really great shots around the greens. And it's like,
yep,
here's your guy, you know?
Yep.
And I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if it's going to go that way, but I think he is. I think both those guys are going to be super fascinating to watch on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, I'd love to see a duel between those two. I think that would be a lot of fun. Oh, this is a fun leaderboard. There's a lot of guys that are just fun to watch. So, I'm looking forward to this weekend.
Yeah, it should be awesome. Okay, we need to get out of here. We got to get this podcast posted before midnight. Hayden, thanks for your time. We'll be back on either Sunday, maybe Monday, with just takeaways from the entirety of the event. We'll judge the course setup fully after 72 holes instead of just 36. So yeah, enjoy the weekend. Should be a blast, and we will talk later on.
All right. See you Sunday.